All right, going to play some PC replay baseball. 1986 opening day, Minnesota and Oakland. It's Frank Viola against Chris Codiroli, and the Twins won this one in real life 3-2 behind Frank Viola. We will see what happens here. A lot of big names in this game. Viola went 7 innings and did get the win in the game. I don't believe there was a home run in the game either. It was a low-scoring 3-2 game. Twins actually scored 2 in the first. So we got Codiroli on the mound, 4.03 ERA, 141 WHIP, facing Kirby Puckett, who hit 31 homers and batted 328 in 86. And there's a pop-up to second for the first out, 1 out. Bring up Mickey Hatcher. Hatcher hit 278 with 3 homers. There's a 16, and that's a triple. Mickey Hatcher with a triple here in the top of the first with 1 out. And that'll bring up Ken Hrbek. Hrbek hit 29 homers in 86. Looks like they're playing the infield back, and that's a deep fly, and that should score the run. And the Twins take a 1-0 lead. Sacrifice fly for Ken Hrbek. Bring up Tom Brunansky, who hit 23 home runs himself. And there's a 33. That's a line out to center field, and we're going to go to the bottom of the first. The Twins do score a run. They lead it 1-0. Frank Viola is going to face Tony Phillips at 256. And there's a walk. And it's going to come with some base running as there's a D after the 6. So we're going to roll on the action chart. And he gets a stolen base. So walk and a steal. And the A's have the tying run on second. Nobody out for Dwayne Murphy. 9 homers, 252 average in 86. There's a ground ball out to third. Should hold a runner. 1 out, runner on second for Dusty Baker. Of course, this is not the really good Dusty Baker of the mid to late 70s with the Dodgers, but here he is, batting 244, homers in 86. And there's a 7 and a walk in column 5. First and second, 1 out. For King Kong, Dave Kingman, 35 homers in 86 and a 210 average. First and second, 1 out. Viola in a little bit of trouble here. There's an 18. That's a fly out to left. 18 in column 2. 2 out first and second for Jose Canseco. Hit 33 bombs in 86. Here's a 34 in column 5, and he struck him out. So Viola gets out of trouble. Go into the top of the second with the Twins leading 1-0, and it's Mark Salas, left-hitting catcher for the Twins. Hit 8 homers in 86, but that's just a deep fly out to center, 1 out. Bring up Gary Gaetti, 34 bombs in 86, and that's a line out. 32 is a line out to right, 2 out. Switch hitting Roy Smalley, batting lefty against Chris Codiroli. Smalley hit 20 homers in 86. And there against a righty, that's an 8 and a 5, and a 13 is a home run in column 6. And the Twins lead it 2-0. That was a split reading, but against a righty, it was an 8. Added to Codiroli's 5, and a 13 is a straight home run. 2-0. 2 out for Greg Gagne, 12 homers. And there's a righty-righty line out. So that's a line out to short. We're going to go bottom 2 with the Twins now leading it 2-0, which they did in the actual game. And Carney Lansford will lead it off against Viola. Lansford hit 284 with 19 homers that year. And there's a 13 and a base hit in column 2. Single to left for Lansford. And that's going to come with base running as there's an asterisk. So he's going to try and steal. This will either be safe or a hold. 33 is the target number, and a 51 is a stolen base. So that's the second steal for the A's. Runner on second, nobody out for Mike Davis, 19 homers in 86, and he struck him out. 3 in column 1, there's 1 out. Runner on second, and we go to Alfredo Griffin, who hit 285. Here, this is an error check against Greg Gagne at short. He's a 41 error, and 11 is no error. So he'll make the play. The runner gets to third. 2 out for Mickey Tettleton, batting ninth here. 10 home run hitter, batting ninth here, and that's just a ground out. A 3, that's a ground ball to second base. Viola strands the runner. And we're going to go top 3 with the Twins leading it 2-0. Steve Lombardozzi, 8 homers, 227 average in 86. And there's a 35 and a short fly to left, 1 out. I'm going to go back to Puckett, who was 0 for 1 in the game. And there's a 49, and that is a strikeout with the bases empty. And there are 2 outs. I think it's a comebacker with men on base. 2 out, nobody on for Mickey Hatcher. And there's a ground ball. 39 is a ground ball right back to Codiroli. And it's an easy inning. Going to go bottom 3, 2-0. Tony Phillips, top of the order for the A's. He walked and stole a base, and that's a line out or short fly out to center field. So 1 out, 6. A 7 in column 3 would be a base hit, so we just missed it. Dwayne Murphy will be up. Murphy's 0 for 1. And there's a 19 and a ground out to second. Back to Dusty Baker. I think he walked, and here's a ground ball out to second base, so we're going to go to the 4th. So we're at 2-0 Twins, top 4 here, opening day in Oakland. Chris Codiroli on the mound against Kent Herbeck. And he pops him up. Popped to second, 1 out. Bring up Tom Brunansky. And there's a ground out, 48. That's pitcher unassisted. So a little ground ball to the right side that Codiroli is able to get and run to the bag for an unassisted putout. We got 2 out, nobody on for Mark Salas. And there's another split, and a 9 and a 4 is a 13, and a straight home run for Mark Salas. It's 3-0 Minnesota. Again, this is a lefty-righty split result, and the 9 and 4 is a 13 and a home run in column 6. 3-0, 2 out, nobody on for Gary Gaetti. And that's gone. That's a 15 in column 6. It's 4-0 Minnesota. Lighting up the board against Chris Codiroli. 2 solo home runs here in the 4th. And it's 4-zip Minnesota. Roy Smalley. And now Codiroli's on his B grades. And there's a ground out and an 18 in column 4. So he'll get out of it. But we go to the bottom of the 4th. 4-0 Minnesota. Dave Kingman. And that's a fly out. 18 in column 2. Fly to left. 1 out. Bring up Jose Canseco. And there's a walk. That's a 7 in column 5. Canseco's on with 1 out. Bring up Carney Lansford. And there's a fly out. 17 in column 2. Fly to center. 2 out. That'll bring up Mike Davis. And there's just a ground ball. 3 ground ball to second. 3 in column 5. So Viola's in control right now. And we're going to get a pitcher change as Codiroli was on his B grades. It's going to be Bill Kruger. He had a 6 ERA and a 154 whip in 86. He's going to come in the top of the 5th. Left-hander facing Greg Gagne. And the Twins lead it 4-0. And that's a 7 in column 2 and a foul out to second base. 1 out. Bring up Steve Lombardozzi. And there's a righty-lefty base hit. 46 in column 3. That's a righty-lefty single. Runner on first. 1 out for Kirby Puckett, who's 0 for 2. And there's a 7 in column 3, and that is a base hit. We're going to get third base coach role here and an extra base, and that had an asterisk on it, so there should be a steal, I think, of second. Now that second base is open, yep. Puckett's going to try and steal second. And he only needs to get a better than a 23, but he doesn't do it, so he has to hold. So we got runners on the corners with 1 out. Twins leading at 4-zip, and it's Mickey Hatcher. Infield is looking for 2. And there's a ground ball, but they're not going to get 2. It's ground ball to short, but they're only able to get the runner on first. It's a little short, slow ground ball to short. So that scores the 5th run of the game for the Twins. Puckett gets to second with 2 out now for Herbeck. And a 37, that's going to be a double to left. Twins pouring it on. It's 6-0 Minnesota here on opening day. Herbeck now at second for Bernansky. And now we're going to get a ballpark. We got to get a new number because of the shaded result. He needs he needs a 51 or better for a hit, and he doesn't get it. That's a fly to left. So that'll end the inning. But the damage is done as the Twins are all over the A's, 6-0 here. 6 runs, 7 hits. A's have 1 hit in the game. Viola in control facing Alfredo Griffin. And there's a walk, though. You don't want to do that with a 6-0 lead. Walks the leadoff hitter for Mickey Tettleton. And it's also a steal attempt. But this is steal or hold, no throw out. And he's going to hold 32. And now Tettleton will bat. Tettleton is 0 for 1. And that's a 64 in column 3. And that's a base hit that sends Griffin to third. So first real threat for Oakland. First and third, nobody out. Top of the order, Tony Phillips, 0 for 1. Looking for 2 here. They'll give up a run for outs. And there's a fly ball to center field. And the runner is going to hold at third. So first and third, 1 out for Dwayne Murphy, who's 0 for 2. And he struck him out. So there are now 2 out first and third for Dusty Baker. And there is a strikeout. So Viola strands the runners on first and third. Wow, first and third, nobody out. But great job by Viola. We go top 6, 6-0. Salas leads it off. He homered earlier. And now we're going to get another ballpark check. We got to get a new number in column 3. Again, he needs a 51 or better for a hit, but he doesn't get it. 34 is a fly to center. 1 out for Gaetti, and he struck out. So there's 2 out. Roy Smalley will come up, and there's a walk, 6 in column 5. Smalley's on with 2 out for Greg Gagne. Gagne hit 12 homers, and there's a 54, and a line drive, base hit to right. Chance for extra bases. He has to roll a 6 here on Mike Davis to get a double, and he doesn't do it. So first and second, 2 out for Steve Lombardozzi. And there's a base hit. That's a single to right. And we're going to get third base coach action here. Let's see what's going to happen to the lead runner, and he gets the extra base. It's 7-0 Minnesota. Minnesota all over Oakland here. Kirby Puckett will bat first and second, 2 out. And that's a fly out, 29 in column 5. So we're going to go to the bottom of the 6th. It's 7-0. 7 runs, 9 hits for Minnesota. Viola pitching a shutout here in the bottom of the 6th. He's an S7 pitcher, so he's okay right now. Dave Kingman. There is going to be the first rare play check. And a 5 is a rare play. So let's see, Texas League pop fly to shallow left. Shortstop races a short left to track down the pop fly as the left fielder converges. Roll a die against the shortstop's defense rating. Gagne's a 3, needs it better than a 3, and he doesn't get it. So it's a base hit. The Texas Leaguer drops in. Kingman's on first with nobody out for Canseco. And there's a ground ball. And it's off the fielder's glove, so shortstop Gagne again cannot get to that ball. It's off his glove. First and second, nobody out for Carney Lansford. Viola finds a little bit of trouble again here. There's a fly out, though, 17 in column 2. He's been able to get out of trouble so far. First and second, 1 out for Mike Davis. And there's another rare play check. But a 4 is just going to be a dribbler. This is a dribbler in front of the mound, so we're going to actually have a choice here, and since Kingman is a 2, we're actually going to try and throw him out, throw out the runner on second. Kingman is the slowest runner of the guys on base, and we do get Kingman. So the dribbler in front of Viola, he smartly is able to get Kingman at third, and they get the lead runner. So first and second, 2 out for Alfredo Griffin. And there's a base hit, though. No, that's a line. That's a 15. That's a line out to second. He needed a 16 for a triple. So Griffin came 1 number short of a triple, clearing the bases. And it's 7-0 now, top of the 7th. Hatcher will lead it off, and that's a fly out. deep fly to right, 1 out. And Kent Herbeck will be up. There's a 15, and that's a line out to second, 2 out. That's that same 15 that Griffin got last inning. 16 is a triple. Brunansky up, and here's a 44 and a walk, and it's going to be a walk with base running. Brunansky did steal 12 bases. Of course, in a 7-0 game, that's a good way of getting plunked, but we'll see what happens here. And he's caught stealing, actually, so that's going to end the inning. A's are able to get Brunansky trying to steal with a 7-0 lead, and I'm sure there's going to be some words going off the field there on that steal attempt. 7-0, bottom 7. We've had the 7th inning stretch, and Mickey Tettleton will lead it off, and he'll strike out. 2 in column 1, 1 away. Bring up Tony Phillips. And there is a 5 in column 3, which is just a short fly to left, 2 out. You need at least a 7 in column 3 there for a base hit. Dwayne Murphy will bat, and there's a lefty 59. So that's a 62 and a double in column 6. There's another split result. Against a righty, it would have been a home run chance. Runner on second, 2 out for Dusty Baker. And that's a fly out, 17 in column 2. Fly ball to Puckett. And Viola holds on to his shutout. Top of the 8th inning. We're going to get a new pitcher for Oakland. It's Tim Burtsis, and it's 7-0 top 8 against Mark Salas here. And there's a 32 in column 5, and that's a fly out to left, 1 out. And I'll bring up Gary Gaetti. And there's a 41 in column 6, and he strikes out, 2 out. Burtsis had a 22 ERA and a 3 whip in 1986. He only played in 2 relief appearances and pitched 2 innings in 86. And here's one of them in the replay. Roy Smalley, and that's a 14 in column 4. That's an error check on Griffin. Let's see what his error rating is, 43. So that's the target, is over 43, and there's an error on a 52. So Smalley is on the E6 with 2 out. Now I'll bring up Gagne. And that's a 9. That's a walk. So a little 2-out trouble for Burtsis. First and second, 2 out for Lombardozzi, who's 2 for 3 in the game. And that's a 6 and a walk. Bases are loaded. With 2 out, you ignore the D because the base next after the Lombardozzi doesn't have an open base to run. So bases loaded, 2 out. Kirby Puckett up. 7-0. Minnesota already leads it. And that's a ground out. A 5 in column 4 is a ground out to short. Griffin takes care of that. So we go to the bottom of the 8th, and the only drama left in this game is whether or not Viola can pitch a shutout. Dave Kingman is going to try and do something about that, and he does. There's a 14 and a home run in column 6 for Dave Kingman, who breaks up the shutout. No shutout for Frank Viola. Kingman gets one of his patented bombs, and it's 7-1. Canseco now up. Viola's on his B grades. Let's let him pitch at least one batter with this lead. And there's a 34 and a double, and I think we'll let Viola go to the showers. Having pitched a good game, we will go to the bullpen, and we will use, you know what? They used Smith in the game. Of course, you don't know he's going to have a bad year, and it's looking back at the numbers, he did not have a good year, but you don't know that on opening day. So I'm going to put Smith in since they used him on opening day. Roy Smith's going to come in. Runner on second, nobody out for Carney Lansford. And there's a ground ball. Ground ball is short. 1 out, runner holds for Mike Davis. And there's another one of those rare play checks. But a 2 is a dribbler in front of the mound, so no rare play. And again, I have a choice, and Canseco is the slower runner, so I'm going to go ahead and try and get him out. Better than a 4 to get him out, but we don't do it. 3. So it was a dribbler. It was probably on the third base side, and he had no chance to go to first, so we tried to get Canseco at third, but he couldn't get him either. So first and third, 1 out now for Alfredo Griffin. A's trying to mount some kind of comeback here. And a 5's a ground ball to third base. And a force play will drive in the second run of the game for the A's, but that's a big out for Minnesota. It's now 2 out here in the bottom of the 8th. 7-2 Minnesota still leads it. We got a steal attempt. Again, this is just steal or hold, so he's trying to sneak in the second base, and he does it. Stolen base for Griffin. And with a runner on second and 2 out now, it'll be Mickey Tettleton. And he is going to be out. That's a strikeout to end the inning. So we go top 9 with Minnesota leading at 7-2. Burt's is still in there against Hatcher. And there is a deep fly out, 21 in column 6. Fly ball to center field, 1 out. Bring up Kent Herbeck. He is 1 for 3 in this game. And there is a 21 is going to be an umpire call. It's going to be a close play at first base. He's going to have a 4/6 chance of making this. 4 out of 6 numbers. And he's out with a 6. So a close bang-bang play at first. And they get him for the second out. And that'll bring up Brunansky. And Brunansky, this has got a shot to go out. This is deep. It's going to be a home run for Tom Brunansky. Tom Brunansky gets a hold of one against Burtsis and makes it 8-2. That'll bring up Salas. Long ball day for Minnesota here on opening day, and that's just a ground out of 7 in column 4. Kingman is able to handle it, and we're going to go to the bottom of the 9th. Roy Smith will stay in there with a 6-run lead. In the actual game, they needed a save from Davis, but right now that's not the case. So Smith will stay in and face Tony Phillips. And a righty, 16-4 is a fly to right field on a split. Would have been a hit against a lefty. 1 out, nobody on for Dwayne Murphy. And there's a base hit. 13 in column 2 is a single. So the A's get a base runner. And that's going to bring up Dusty Baker. 18 fly ball, column 2, center left field. So there's 2 out. 2 out, runner on first. Smith is 1 out away from finishing this game off for Frank Viola. And it's Kingman who broke up the shutout with the home run. And he's going to be up here with a runner on first and 2 out. And that's a 7. That's a walk. So that prolongs the game. First and second. Bring up Jose Canseco. Unfortunately, he cannot hit a 6-run homer here, but let's see what happens. And that is a strikeout to end the game. Minnesota wins opening day 8-2. So it's Frank Viola winning it. Codiroli gets the loss. And a lot of home runs in this ball game. And a good opening day for Minnesota as they win it 8-2. Thanks for watching.